Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Kicker Podcast brought to you by Kicker Labs. My name is Victor V, joined by my brother and co host Bruce. We do not have Louis, we do not have Piccolo, we do not have Osai Lens, but we do have an amazing episode lined up for you guys today. We have a special guest joining us here at the Kicker Podcast today. We got Dubscience, film, and photography joining us. So, brother, thank you so much for kicking it with us here
Appreciate you
and
having
joining
me,
us on the
man.
platform.
Appreciate it.
Welcome,
Thank you.
yes, sir. So just to start off on the interview, can you tell the viewers where you're originally from?
Well, my name is Ruben Green. I'm the owner of Dubscience Photography and Film. I'm Brooklyn born from New York City. And I spent, a lot of my lifetime out there, but transitioned more of my adulthood to living in Baltimore, growing my business and my brand.
That's right. That's right. And where do you find your most work being at?
My most work being at, well, I do a lot of event photography, all types of events, whether it be baby shower or major corporate events. But I've done also some very artistic things too that I have in the past been in some museums and whatnot.
Okay. Have you seen yourself working for more public or private gigs?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. Like I said, some of the concert gigs that I work are definitely more so public, but then there are major private events that I do as well.
Okay. Okay.
Since I've moved out here, I've been doing more private events.
Okay. Okay.
Yo, I dig that, Ru. Like especially your range, man. You said from baby showers to being in galleries.
Yeah,
That's what's
yeah.
up. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff, man. I've had a very extensive career, close to 20 years, in the business. I'm also a second generation photographer.
Oh, what?
Yeah, man. My mom and my stepdad met at a photo shoot, and I ended up learning how to walk. You know what I'm saying, in the photography studio. So it's been something that I've been around all my life. Even when I really didn't take it most seriously, I started to take it more seriously when my daughter was born. Shout out to Brookie, but yeah, I started to take it more seriously. That's when I started to invest in myself and build my brand.
Okay. Okay. Sick. Sick. And then how was your transition from the East Coast over here in the West Coast?
My transition thus far, it's been an amazing experience. I have to say that it's definitely come with its ups and downs, but it's been an amazing experience thus far. I'm lucky to have a beautiful support system.
That's right. That's right.
Right now it's just like you got to work it out. However you work it out, you just got to put that grind in. You got to network. You got to meet people. You got to rub elbows and talk and probably negotiate. So that's really what it's been about.
Hey, that's facts right there. Everybody
Yep.
take some notes right here.
And you can say that back then when you were younger, you never really took it serious. Well, what do you mean by that? Like you've already messed around with the camera work, done like photo shoots here and there
Well,
beforehand.
when I started, we were still doing film. So my dad was a wedding photographer. He was a professional wedding photographer, very sought after. And we'd be out there in the sun changing film canisters with like a sleeve, like a double sleeve that you put on, to change the film out of the back of the camera. And so we were doing that with like 35 millimeter format back then. And then, to be honest with you, I really hadn't messed with digital too much until I really started to do my own thing. So it was definitely a transition from working from that experience when I didn't take it so serious because I was being dragged along to do it. I really was. My dad was like, "Yo, I got this good job, and I need a second and third hand, and you gonna be it." Moms too. Mom, they made it a whole business. It was a function. You know what I'm saying, and it worked out for them. It did. My dad ended up winning a couple awards, and I think
Sick.
for a long time it was like his dream life. But he is now retired from the business. But yeah. I loved it more when I wasn't being dragged out to do it.
Yeah.
As a teenager, you don't have to work the weekends, for real. But it's a passion now. It's a passion. It's something I love to do. So it's not always work. It's not always work.
What can you say has been one of the most valuable lessons you learned while working with your pops?
Customer service, man. Like for real, customer service, dealing with clients, dealing with personalities, because the wedding photography business is a monster.
I bet.
Like you're dealing with a lot of personality that day.
Whoa.
And a lot of unexpected things tend to happen. Um, and so yeah, like that's been one of the biggest things to learn from like how to deal with people. And it's funny because my father and I are both cancers, and so we can
Mm,
tend to be a little introverted.
okay.
Him more so than I am. But it's like, you get out there and you just try not to fumble, you try to talk to everybody, try to be as polite as possible, and you mingle because you never know, who you're going to bump into that's going to give you that next chance to do something really big.
That's right. That's right.
Yo, yeah, you kind of setting me up for a couple of questions right there, Ruben.
Well, what's up?
All right, so let's keep it with the weddings because
Okay.
it's still pretty fresh right here in the
Okay.
audio.
Okay.
All right. Two of your weddings: best wedding, easiest wedding, worst wedding.
Ooh. Ooh. Well, I don't know. I can't front. I've done a couple weddings and I can't say that they've all been bad at all. I will say that the first wedding that I took on out here was kind of a beast. And it was because I was still really fresh out here. I didn't really know anybody, definitely no other photographers, and I needed a second shooter. So I scoured on Facebook and a bunch of other places, searching for a second shooter. And the gentleman I ran into, Rashad Ottman, shout out to him. Um, he was a godsend. My man came in, he knew what to do. I didn't have to really show him how to do anything. And it's funny because really by the end of the day, everybody, whether it be part of the family or the wedding party, everybody was like, hey, like, how long have you guys been working together? I was like, we just started working together. We just met each other in person today. Literally, we just met each other in person today, and it was a wild situation. And that's why I'm not gonna say it's my worst wedding, but it was a wild situation because the woman that I was doing the wedding for had actually already paid a photographer to do her
Oh,
wedding,
damn.
and he hadn't been in contact with her like
Nah.
3 to 4 months up until the wedding. He
Yo,
just lost whatever contact with her, like wasn't responding and things of that nature. So she found me. I was promoting myself on Facebook through like Oceanside on a Facebook group. And she found me on there. She asked me what my price would be. I gave her a price, but then she explained the back end of the situation. I was like, "Oh no, I got you. We're gonna do this." So once again, finding Rashad was a blessing. Come to find out, we started doing the morning preparation with the brides and everything. The photographer actually ended up showing up out of the blue with his crew.
What
whoa,
the fuck?
And then had the nerve to be mad.
He was mad?
He was mad. He was. I don't know why he was mad. I'm like, yo, you didn't talk to her 3 months up until the date. Like, why are you mad?
Right.
She's been paid twice
Yeah.
for the same
dang.
purpose. But once again, he was a jerk when he approached me. I handled it well. I handled it so well that the woman's sisters came out and she was like, I can't believe you did that. She was like, you handled it very well, very professionally. Because I guess he's expected us to leave. I don't know why. I don't know why he expected us to leave. I'm like, no, she paid me. I'm gonna stay. Like, even if y'all do y'all thing, we can all work together. That just means she got more photos.
Exactly.
You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? It don't bother me. I know what my lane is. I know my capabilities. I'm work well with others. You know. So, but yeah, that was the wildest like wedding situation that I've been in that I can really remember. Because the other ones that I did a lot of like was with my dad more than anything, and those were crazy too. Those moments. But out here, yeah, that's been the wildest situation I've encountered thus far in regards to weddings.
Yo, and okay, the second question that kind of came to my mind was like your transition from shooting film because it's outdated. People don't do it
Right,
unless you're doing like the instant cameras and all that. I mean, kind of garbage in my opinion, but
Nah,
still a
it
little,
really works out.
still
Look,
little
it
cool
depends.
shots.
It's like people that like records,
Okay,
like
I
that
feel that.
vintage vinyl feel.
Yeah.
People that rock with film, it's the same thing for them. It's the same vibe. But I hear you. But you talking about the transition from
Yeah, from
that
film
digital.
to digital nowadays.
It was funky back then because first of all, even into transition to digital, the cameras still weren't that great. And the ones that were crazy expensive, even like to start out, like my dad was using a digital, but then he would still kind of mess with film cameras in between, depending on what type of look or style he was trying to give the bride. So yeah, man, it was fairly easy for me. It wasn't really that hard because like anything that you want to learn these days, you can literally learn on YouTube. And
Yep.
thankfully there was YouTube back then, when I kind of first really messing with digital, and kind of going hard with it. Um, but yeah, it was fairly easy once you learn the basics. It's photography is a thing of practice.
Yeah, I just started rating out here.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah, my bad.
That's
You just
cool.
hear that on the
Right.
roof.
They did say a storm might come through. But yeah, photography is a thing about practice, man. It's like the more you do it, the better you are at it. For real, for real. And you just got to teach yourself the right techniques.
That's right. That's right. I did see you out there at the JL Felony show. Michael Gabriel had it at Rosewood,
Yeah,
taking a few
man.
shots.
Yeah, man. I got a bunch of shots from there. Actually, it's funny because I love like when you get families together at events like that. And so I took a couple family photos of some folks, and then I started posting photos again of the event the other day. And one of the young ladies hit me. She was like, "Hey, you got this photo of me and my family?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember editing. I don't know why it's not on my iPad." I went back, found him, sent him right to him, man. Yeah. That was a good experience. I like working with Michael Gabriel, and meeting J.L. Felony was also really cool too.
Yeah, it was a dope show.
It was a dope show. It was an awesome show, man. Full of energy, full of energy.
100%.
And I like Rosewood, man, too. Shout out to Rosewood Kitchen. Yeah, Josh over there, he's doing his thing. Super proud of the moves he's making and the way he involves community into his restaurant.
Yep, 100%. Right now, it's still going on. Actually, while we're going live, Beats and Eats
Oh,
tonight.
for reals tonight?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's
Every
what's up.
Monday.
Yeah, rain
That's
or
what's up.
shine, they
Right.
still get down out there.
Right, right.
Right.
Gotcha.
And then he also got involved for the Dealers Mulligans as well.
I did, man. That was also a blessed networking experience. I really enjoyed it.
What can you say was your favorite part of the whole 3-day event?
First of all, I got a dope golf shirt.
There you go.
From
Yeah.
Brian. Shout out to Brian. I got a really dope golf shirt, you know what I mean? And I don't play golf at all, but it's actually not bad watching it up close. I've never like sat down and watched a tournament online or anything, but it's cool to watch it up close and watch people practice their swing and whatnot. But it was cool, man. Like doing it for charity and seeing the amount of people that poured, out to support that event was super nice. The imagery we got, I believe, is really good. Like I see, they out there, doing their reels and whatnot now. So it looks nice, man. It was a clean event. It really was a clean event. And once again, it was just a blessing to be a part of that experience and be exposed to, a golf course setting.
It was a great location.
Yeah, it was a beautiful location.
That place was huge, bro.
Yes, man. Yes. We were riding around on the golf carts trying to get all the snapshots we could and videography. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
Good-
Solana
good
Beach is
times.
beautiful, man.
Yeah, man. It's really nice out there. It is.
And
Oh, we got the IG looking like that.
yeah. So everybody,
StreamYard.
shout out on
Oh,
the
the,
IG. Shout out to everybody on the Instagram and on the YouTube too, man.
yeah, I don't know why IG. Let me see that real quick.
Oh yeah, I don't know
Go
if
ahead
we
and
can
carry the
fix it,
conversation.
but- yeah, I don't know how we could fix that on the Instagram, but hey, to everybody on the Instagram, thank you,
Appreciate y'all.
big time. Don't forget, we got Ruben right here kicking it with us at the Kick It Podcast.
Yeah, StreamYard really did an update right here, and they're not gonna do
damn.
anything else but portrait, I guess, because they also did the same thing for YouTube as well, where they gave me an option. So now I'm gonna have to see where I can go ahead and fix it up. Nope, it's just on me. Hey Ruben, I'm gonna go ahead and change seats with you, okay?
All right.
Oh, yo, that's funny. You know what? Now I'm gonna go to Instagram and check this out myself, dude. What? Hey, but shout out to everybody, man. Don't forget, we do have Ruben kicking it with us right here from Dubscience Photography and Film. And if you guys don't know, better catch up. Then we also got at Rosewood
You good, man.
Beats and Needs going down right now. So
Appreciate you, bro.
do your thing.
So yeah, man. I mean, look, this photography thing, once again, it ain't been easy, but it's like a definitely situation where I feel blessed. I've been working for myself for the most part for the last 15 years. And I've been on tour with Redman and Method Man. I've done some things with some other Wu-Tang members as well. Sometimes it's also about being in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
100%.
There's a gentleman that I also will mention, Mr. Devin Allen back in Baltimore as well. it's funny because I never really knew him like that, but then he gained this notoriety and fame, and even the Time magazine, what I mean, cover from the Baltimore unrest. Back, a couple of years ago, a couple of years back, I think it's almost been like 10 years now, something like that. But yeah, he was in the right place at the right time, and and Time magazine, blew him up. So sometimes it's all about being in the right place at the right time, and once again, networking with the right people to get where you need to go. But you also got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can't really fake it. You can't fake photography. You can't fake knowing what you're doing in an instant like that.
The product you produce is going to show.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and I believe that affirmatively myself. Like, and with any sort of skill set, because it is a skill set. There's this specific saying that I like. It's it comes down to luck. It's like when preparation meets opportunity. Like you said, right time, right place,
Right.
and you get right skills.
Right.
That is your moment. Take advantage because you never know what it's going to lead up to.
Right. No, absolutely, man. It's a thing. And, it's wild too, because even going through 2019, when things got locked down and everything, I had to pivot. I had to pivot into other things. And it wasn't just all photography and film either. But I'm learning that still, like, life is constantly about you learning how to pivot. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like it or not. So all it is, once again, practice make perfect. You just got to go out there and be prepared.
Oh yeah, always stay prepared, and especially in this day and age where like content is king. So like, you're probably out there shooting all day, filming all day, but like, yeah, you gotta go back home, put in that work, and
Right.
have it ready and delivered by tomorrow. Like
Right,
that.
right.
That's how content really works in this day and age, 2025.
Listen, man. Speaking of that, remember I was telling you earlier before we got on that I did an event at Front Wave Arena. So it was a major client. The client asked that within the first hour and a half of the gala, they needed photos to be edited and shot up to the screen to the jumbotrons, by the middle of the event. And so I pulled it off. Like me and my team, what I'm saying, we pulled it off. And like that's not a really easy thing to do,
Hell no.
And when you really gotta make sure they right because they going up on a jumbotron,
Yep.
But also the timing of everything. What I'm saying, making sure you get those good solid shots. Entrances, people coming in. There was games involved, so make sure you get action shots. So yeah, you just once again, event photography is definitely all about practice, bro. Like, because once it's over, you don't get another chance. You don't get another shot. It's not like shooting in the studio.
Yep.
So yeah.
No, that's facts, dude. It's like it almost feels like when you're like at a tournament or like let's say a football game or a basketball game, and you're like, yeah, they ain't no timeouts. You can't really redo shots. You just kind of go with the motion. You get what you get, and you try to work it out as best you can.
Right. Yeah, man. I will say this too. Doing event photography also prepared me for working for the Afro back in Baltimore, which is one of the oldest African American newspapers on the East Coast. And so, like, even through them, I've been able to shoot the governor of Maryland, Westmore. I've been able to shoot the mayor of, Baltimore. I've been able to shoot a lot of people. I actually even shot a little bit of the what do they call it? NCAA tournaments, because they do them out there as well. I've shot like Neo. I've shot the Isley Brothers out in Baltimore. These are all like concerts and whatnot. 50 Cent. A bunch of people, man. Like it's just, and it gets to the point where like, you go into these venues so often, like people actually think you work there, But once again, like in these instances, you get these opportunities and you just try to come prepared as possible, man. But having that type of backing behind you, like having published work, like it got to the point, like when I was working for the paper, that I was literally like pitching them concerts that I wanted to go shoot. So like there was like Jill Scott was coming to town. She's coming to DC, in MGM Grand, and I was the only photographer that evening. And actually, one of her assistants told me this. One of Jill Scott's assistants told me that. She was like, Jill Scott used to do an event in Baltimore called Organic Soul Tuesdays, It's actually one of the first places where she kind of started out doing her small tours before she was really signed. And she remembers people from the Afro. She remembers the Afro people coming out to talk to her and interview her and photograph her or whatever from that paper. And she said, out of all the other people that requested to shoot her that evening at that concert, I was the only photographer allowed because I was shooting with the Afro.
Yo, that's crazy.
That is dope. That's a dope experience, man. You know what I mean? It's a dope experience. To know that people believe in you like that, and and that also that you're capable, to have that pride in yourself. So once again, photography has built me up to be a well-rounded dude to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Because it's put me in so many different scenarios where you just got to give it all you got.
And for back east, when you were getting into these venues and stuff, do you like a press pass, or was it like more word of mouth type stuff?
Well, it would depend. It would depend. Like if I was like Baltimore has a place called Baltimore Soundstage, much like the I think so called the Music Box that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, in San Diego. Yeah.
So Baltimore has a place called the Baltimore Soundstage, and they're one of the bigger music venues in the city. And so like it got to a point where I would come down there sometimes to shoot for the paper, but sometimes I'll just come down there and shoot for myself, or like opening artists would ask me to come shoot for them, and I end up being a part of like the photographer gaggle that's in the front of the stage for the end of the night. But I mean, no matter what, it's funny because I actually did end up becoming friends with security. You know what I'm saying? So when I walked in, they'd be like, "Oh, it's you? You back? You back?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm back. I'm shooting tonight." It was definitely like, it's nice being in a place where you got so much access. But it's because you cool. Like you don't come in, you bother nobody, you take good photos, do good work, and then you go home. So it's a cool experience.
That's right. And then what can you say has been one of the most challenges as a photographer and a videographer that you overcame in your entire span of the career?
Biggest challenges. Well, I think one of my biggest challenges is that if you're being a good artist or being an accomplished artist doesn't always make you the greatest business person. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes depending on like, because like to be honest with you, like I'm gonna focus on my art because I want to get people a good product, good digital assets or good visuals, but making sure you pay your taxes and making sure you keep those bank accounts running the way it's supposed to, and even buying equipment and following up on things on a financial level that you need to do for your business to keep things running has not necessarily always been a struggle for me, but like it's definitely a focus. So that's one of the bigger challenges that I think we all kind of try to trip over a little bit as being artists, trying to meld the business end to the artistic end and making sure everyone's smoothly. And a lot of people can't do it on their own, So I've most recently, I will say this as well, I did go through San Diego's small business classes with them for, I think it was like 6 weeks, 9 weeks. And graduated their program here in San Diego. So that's been a nice experience working with the Urban Business Center. I would suggest that anybody that's out here, they do like a cohort maybe once a year. And so you could definitely check back with them and see if you could become a part of that cohort, because you definitely learn a lot. They taught everything from like how to kind of play with AI, not building your brand per se, but building the business model of your brand.
Yeah. The layout and the
yeah. Like they teach you legal sides of the business and all types of stuff. And they also provide mentorship.
Yeah.
So I've met a lot of cool people through that program as well.
Yo, damn! Hey, everybody, plug in right there.
Yeah, man, check them out.
Yeah, that sounds like a
And you right on the ball on giving advice saying like to do it on a year-to-year basis, because the laws change and fluctuate every year.
True.
So shit, some things can work out for you in your benefit, and there's some shit that you gotta take a step back and reevaluate on something.
And make sure you always got those contracts.
Yeah.
Never do business without a contract, man.
Yo, well, see, you just set me up right there, Ruben, because I was gonna ask you if you could expand a little bit. So for especially my up and coming art and photographers who are trying to get into the game, I mean, we know it takes a team, But if you could give them a little bit word of advice, because you mentioned taxes, and I know end of the year, uh, it kind of, if you don't file right, bro, it's gonna come and bite you in the ass. But
Right,
you mentioned contracts.
right.
Uh, can you give them a little word of advice, or like what was the best scenario and best way to maybe organize themselves for when it comes to that time of year?
Well, like I said, definitely make sure you always have your contracts in order. You want to try to process invoices if you can through any type of invoicing, whether it be QuickBooks, PayPal, or whatever. Um, and that will definitely keep you organized as to how much money is going out and how much money is coming in. You never want to uh, use your business per se funds for personal expenses if you can. Try to stay away from that. Um, but don't get me wrong, cash is king.
That
cash,
part.
cash is king. I ain't going front. Like if you can walk away with it a little bit, that's always a nice little helpful thing to have. But yeah, on the business side, like you gotta be, keep it digital. I would say, be careful about using like accounts like Chime or like Cash App so much to run your business, because those things can sometimes, kind of turn around and bite you. The invoicing sites a lot of times will provide you protection as a business owner from like fraudulent activities and whatnot. Whether it be a client doing something fraudulent or just somebody trying to touch your account, without you knowing. In regards to taxes, yeah, you got to keep up with that. Definitely. And so you would just pretty much manage whatever your state tax rates are, because every state is different. You would just want to try to deduct. Well, when you charge the person, on the invoice to tax, you want to try to deduct that and put that to the side. And so when it's time to pay your taxes, you'll have what you got.
Yep.
But like at the end of the day, once again, it's definitely you will definitely want to teach yourself financial money management in regards to like any business. That's not even just photography itself. Um, but yeah, man, and like I said, like use the resources around you. YouTube University, the small business branches out here definitely will help you out. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody take notes. And again, that doesn't mean that you have to step away from your art, because your art is your art. But it's always good to, like, keep a couple things in mind, and be well rounded of what it is when it comes down to the business.
Right. So yeah, man. I mean,
Hey, but I want to tap in real quickly, because we spoke about you being in galleries. Uh, was that back east?
well, yeah. So it wasn't. Well, okay. So I will say this: it was actually an exhibition.
Okay, gotcha.
It was called. Well, my portion of the exhibition is. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say the exhibition was through MICA, which is Maryland Institute College of Art.
Yo,
Sick.
And so they are like one of the major art hubs in Baltimore City. And so my work was featured in the Fred Lazarus Center under the name of the event's name was called The Intersection. And so this project was actually a really dope project because the intersection, kind of like down the block from the college, was one of the major transit hubs for Baltimore. I think like for real, like started back in the 1920s. It was kind of like the halfway point of the city. So it was on North Avenue and sorry, Cross Street. And I think I want to say 25th. No, St. Paul. So yeah, it was a major transit hub, but the intersection, we split the exhibition up into years or like decades or whatever, and so my decade ended up being like the 60s through 70s. And so I did a piece for the exhibition called Flip Side of Space and Time. And so I took photos. Well, first off, I had a gentleman that worked at one of the clothing stores that was in that area in the 60s and 70s, and just happened he would do photography of his clients. Like they would buy the wares, like and then they would come back when they got their hair done and nails done or whatever, wearing the outfit, and he would take photos of them in the street, like real dope, like editorial photos, film camera. Right?
sick.
So I was able to reference some of his photos. Like I did a whole meet and greet with him, and a woman that helped curate it. Her name is Yvonne. So I did a whole interview, meet and greet with him, took notes. He gave me sample photos to use, and literally, I called together like a bunch of friends, artistic friends I knew in the community, whether it be musicians, poets, activists, whatever, and we all got together and a lot of them brought their own outfits, in '70s wear, and garb. And we just got it done. Just got it shot in like late afternoon into dusk. Um, but the fly thing about it was putting it up in the gallery. So I have this idea, which I'm not going to go too deep into, but I'll be somewhat explanatory. Is I had this idea of framing photos without using frames, and it's not a digital process. It's more just like stretched canvas. And so I did this whole process of stretching the canvas, double-sided photos, and created like alleyways, so that way you could walk down in between. Excuse me, walk down in between the photos, and so you can get close up on them. I mean, of course, we asked that you wouldn't touch them, but you can literally stand 5 inches away from the photo. And like, I also did a short documentary film to go along with said photos
Sick.
of the experience.
Damn, you did the whole bundle.
I did, man. I did, and I put it together in 30 days, bro.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I did it in 30 days. So it was a wild experience. And guess what? It's again, right place, right time. I wasn't treated so well during that process by some of the students that were a part of this situation or this
Project.
gallery. Yeah. So but I ended up getting a three three a 3-time like teaching course. Like I was able to teach them like artist curator etiquette, how to deal with an artist, you know what I'm saying, as a curator, because these were people that were getting their masters in art curation, and like they just kind of didn't know how to deal with community, or artists of the community. So once again, right place, right time, man. Like that was a beautiful experience. The paper wrote about it. It was in the news, just to have that, and it was the whole front of the building is glass, so you got to see my work first. Like even from the outside, like you could view my work from the outside of the building, which was dope. Like,
Sick.
Yo, that goes hard.
Yeah, man, it was nice. It was definitely nice.
Wait, so you're saying that for these canvases, you were doing like blow up?
Yeah, I was
images?
doing like a 24 by 36 double sided canvas, and I would stretch them with dowels, like wooden poles,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I sealed them over one another, and I stretched them from the ceiling to the floor. Yeah. So it was nice.
Yo, that's
It was
nice.
nice. It was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I could already kind of like picture it just by the description. Yeah,
Yeah.
that goes hard.
Yeah, man. It was nice. It was it was one of the most amazing experiences. And then like even afterwards, I had this huge kind of rectangular piece. It just ended up kind of being a scrap piece that the gentleman that was printing the photos did for me. But it was a scrap piece that had everybody from the shoot in it, like a big group photo. And then so like at the end of the day, everybody signed it and whatnot. Like my parents came, everybody signed it. And it was just good to have like as a big memory, you know what I'm saying, of this momentous occasion in my photography career.
So, have you ever thought about delving back into like a little bit more of the artistic way?
I do want to delve back into it. It's kind of expensive sometimes though to be a gallery photographer, like especially when you're not so well known. So I guess kind of getting into the right spaces and getting to know people that are actually like buying art per se these days. Because it's all objective, you know what I'm saying, to whoever likes your stuff. So I realized that even though I take a lot of photos of people, right, when I was back in the day selling my artwork real hard, that people like buildings and like flowers and just random stuff that's but it could be somewhat abstract, but it's usually like objects more than it is like always people, or at least that's what's sold faster for me.
No, it's true because I mean, when you see the image of a person, it's usually more like in a catalog compared to like you trying to hang some random person,
Right, unless it's like somebody
picture.
famous that you want up on your wall or something.
Mhm.
So yeah. So definitely, like I had my stint because I did a lot of street photography back in Baltimore too. So I had my stint of like selling T-shirts, like my artwork on T-shirts, and being a part of some really dope like groups,
Collectives.
collectives that sold artwork and things of that nature. There used to actually be a place that was just kind of like for artists in Baltimore called Devco, and I had a lot of my first works and pieces displayed there as well. So it was an opportunity, man.
Yeah, no, but but you're right, bro. Like, I kind of lost my train of thought real
Sorry.
quickly. Damn. But it's like end of the day, it's like branding. Like people might recognize your work just off like, oh, that piece and that piece. I know the style, I know who that is, but like is the name. Like end of the day, they want to
Right.
like associate a name with it, and like branding's everything, especially in art.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, that's when I really learned like it was important to like number your photos because you never know if you blow up. You know how many of those pieces are sitting out there in the world that you done printed and just let go. Um, but once again, I come from like a kind of an old school of that. So now people put their work up on, on digital websites and sell it that way, and they can sell it in mass market, either to be used in other productions or for people just to print out for themselves. So it really depends on how you want to do it. I mean, I don't know. I guess because I'm still kind of old school, 44 years old, like I like the idea of my stuff being in a gallery. In a physical gallery, someone has to go there, or they can at least see the gallery online, but know that it's really a finished work,
Right.
framed and everything. So
Yeah, and I think that's pretty common with like a lot of millennials too. Like we like yeah, we're familiar with digital, but we also like the analog, like being able to see it,
right,
touch it, smell it.
right,
Like it's a thing. It's like I mean, not too many people read books anymore, but like just having a physical book is
right,
like
right.
it's way better than just reading it off of the iPad.
Yeah, I mean, I can't front, man. I miss like sometimes like going to get the photos printed, and whatnot. That used to be an experience within itself because it wasn't like you can go back into CVS back then, and just put it through a machine. For real, it wasn't like that. You had to send them out. They had to like depending on what you're doing, especially for the weddings back then, they had to be edited their own way. Even prior to that, like people used to print photos like in a red room, dark room, whatever, and then in order to like you would have to like physically airbrush them or physically kind of paint them, in order to like remove markings and blemishes and whatnot.
Hmm.
Got to get the blend game on right,
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's definitely advanced now. Now you could take a whole roll of photos and you could put it through this AI machine and it'll just edit all the photos for you. Now you got your own style, for $59.99 a month. But hey, look, it helps with the workflow. It helps with the workflow. Like now you don't have to spend all that time, in order to accomplish a task, and it does allow you to run through clients a little bit faster. But is that going to be a detriment to your own situation because now, maybe you become a little stagnant? Are you still going to be inspired, to go out there and capture those same events if you don't have to put in all that work? I don't know. Like I said, for some people, photography work different ways. Same thing with any artist. Some people don't. Like I know a painter. Like he'll paint a couple times out of the year, and then he'll do like 2-3 shows, and then he's like, I'm not gonna paint anymore this year. And it's not like he could just afford to do it, but he just has to do it when he's inspired. And he doesn't want to sell out his soul.
Right.
What I'm saying, to the machine. I get that. I get that. Some people are that deep to their art that they just don't want to be, a quote unquote sellout. But I mean, at the end of the day, whatever works for you, man, do it. Do it. Focus on it, and hone your craft so that way you can create your own lanes.
And that was one thing that from the beginning of the interview I was planning on asking you, but you just put it right there, AI. Because I've seen it a couple of times with like photography,
Right.
mostly like people augmenting reality, but like in your case when you're out there photographing for artists or a wedding or even baby showers, like how does AI come into place in those type of situations?
Well, like I said, like there's a couple different editing programs right now that you can use that anybody could use, as long as you want to pay the subscription. That's like I said, I could take 200, 300 photos right now of an event that I shot, like say Deals Mulligans.
Mhm.
And I could take all those photos and throw it into that system, upload it to the internet and to that AI platform, and I can give it what type of style I want it to have, whether it be a written prompt or selection and options that it'll give you.
Mm.
And it'll process those photos for me like maybe an hour and a half, if even.
Yeah, but do you choose the pictures yourself? Or
Yeah, of
okay,
course. Yeah, you'll have to
gotcha.
go through your own photos to choose the best ones that you wanted to work on, of course. But like once you give it those 200, okay, these are my best photos, fix these up for me, it'll pretty much run them through. One of the tricks to being an event photographer is that you try to keep the photos as consistent as possible in regards to lighting, and that's kind of how you minimize your workflow.
Yep.
In regards to that. So, if you got a batch of photos, say you got your 200, and then you got 25 that's like a little bit brighter than you want them to be, then you do that first 25 first, and you dim them down. But you just want to keep it consistent, so that way they look like they were shot, by the same person.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, I
I
want
know
to
that's
rewind it back just a
a
little
lot of
bit.
detail. I'm sorry.
No,
That's all
no,
good.
this is perfect. This is what we want. I mean, everybody's starting to get a couple of notes in here, but I want to rewind it back real quick. Front wave,
Hmm.
since you were talking about like getting pictures out within
Right.
an hour,
Right.
did you use AI that
No,
day?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
No, I did not.
Okay,
I
hard
just
work.
I just use my editing software on my laptop. And they got, well, similar to the AI, but it's not AI. It's called a batch edit. So pretty much you just take all the photos that you want to edit at the time, you throw them into this certain section of the programming, and you have to physically change each setting in order to tweak it the way you want it, the photos. And then, but what it'll do is it'll batch process all those photos the same exact way. So that's the key of, once again, keeping your lighting consistent when you're shooting. So that way you don't have to do a whole lot of extra tweaking. So I'm not saying real photographers, but better event photographers know how to take a good photo in camera, so you don't have to do all the extra
Exactly.
editing.
That's the most difficult part too. Is
Right.
like you just like you got to capture at the real time moment.
Right.
And I always hate it when I'm like taking shots and then people like they see you taking a shot, so they go ahead and change their stature and they change what they're doing. It's like, nah, that's not what I'm
Right.
looking for.
Go back, do it again.
Like whatever you were doing, don't
Right.
even pay
Right.
attention to me. I'm just flying the wall.
Yeah.
And then also like that part to editing, hours and hours.
Yeah.
Like it could take,
Yeah.
especially like if you're all about like your craft, like like sometimes the little things you notice that other people do,
Right.
and then
Definitely.
you work on those.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so I feel you on that, Ruben.
Yeah, man. It's I don't know. Same thing with film too. Like when I go into shooting something, like even if it's just for reels, like I think of it from an editing standpoint first.
Right.
Like how do I want this story? Well, at least I try to. Like how would I want this story to be told? Make sure I get all those detailed shots that I want to get, and so that way when I get home, it's just easier to put it together.
I feel you, bro. It's like when I'm shooting reels for RM,
Mhm.
and then he's like, I'm like, all right, what spots do you want to do? I'm not too sure what locations do you think. I'm like, all right. So I think about, so I hear his songs. I'm like, all right, cool. So it's gonna be more like a more up close.
Right.
I'm gonna do like more of the scenery.
Right.
Like so, it's like shit like that,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just to reflect artwork.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think, filming it's a little bit different because, like you said, Ruben, like you have to create a story compared to like photography, where it's like a still image. You're capturing a moment.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm saying with film, you're capturing a moment, but you're also telling a story at the same time. I don't know. That's just in my mind,
It's all visual storytelling, and that's kind of like the branding logo of my business. Is visual storytelling is what we do. I pride myself in also having a very long. Well, wedding photography will teach you about documentary, like how to tell a story, visually. You know what I'm saying? So moving on into doing videography and film has always been a lot easier for me because once again, you have no choice but to tell a story. Event photography is the same thing. You're telling the story of the event. So this is really no different. But once again, thinking of it from an editing process will allow you to kind of think through it a little bit faster. It'll also help you with your workflow so that you kind of already know what you're looking for when you go in. But there's also been events, where you don't get time to do that. Like I work, I did some prior work for a chef out here, a private chef, Chef Savage. Shout out to him. And I did a lot of content for him, when you were just pretty much like when he's doing events, so just making sure I'm capturing the process of him cooking and using ingredients and making sure I'm getting still shots and video shots of those ingredients. Because once again, as the more footage that you get while you're there in the moment that you have, so having multiple cameras running if you can and things of that nature is worthwhile. Having a teammate, having an assistant, that's always a thing that's really good for you. Well, yeah, like telling the story is what's most important visually, and making sure that you get the clean shots. Because why are you gonna give your client bad work?
Yeah, we ain't doing that
We're
out
not
here.
doing
No,
that
no
out
bad
here.
work. Yeah, well, everybody out there on the IG and on the YouTube, don't forget we're here with Dubscience Photography and Film. Ruben's straight kicking it with us. And you know what? I'm gonna segue real quickly to some of the comments that I see on the YouTube. I don't know how long everybody's been out there, but we're gonna get to the comments right now. So I got right here, first comment we got Love All saying, I have seen your work, Dub Science Photography and Film. Your work is amazing. Emoji with the stars on the
Appreciate you.
eyes.
Thank you.
Then we got, let's see, we got Tasha Johnson saying, Ruben is amazing. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And hold on, let me see. I missed one from earlier. Valeria, shout out to Valeria, saying I looked away.
Oh,
Poor ASEC
JC's.
and y'all changed seats. Yeah, yes, that was the
Bruce
Instagram.
changed colors.
Yeah, that was
Different shades, baby.
yeah, that was all. Thank you to Instagram.
Oh,
So,
Valeria, please, I gotta get a quick word on Valeria. My tag little karma on the drawing you did of him, he loved it. Just wanted you to
hey,
say
those
hear that.
drawings are actually pretty badass. So, and hopefully you could hook up Ruben one of those drawings. So, thanks again for all that, Valeria.
Appreciate you.
And I got one last comment coming here from Humble Photography saying, how's it going, fellas? Question for Dub Science. What photography trends appeal to you the most? Are there any photographers on social media that inspire you? Thanks.
I will say this. I because I don't do a lot of studio work, so I don't really follow a lot of social trends. Um, it's funny when I really first started doing digital photography on my own, I attempted to do that, and then sometimes you end up kind of copying people. It was very important for me to create my own style and my own blend because, like you said, sometimes when people see that photo, they know who shot it. Um, I would say also like my photography style in regards to my concert photography is very close to me. Like is very unique, and so yeah, I don't follow a lot of trends, not modern day trends. Like I like Gordon Parks, like what I mean, like a bunch of old school photographers, but I don't really follow like modern trends per se of or styles of other photographers. These days, I just try to do my best with what I know and what I got.
That's right.
Yeah, great answer. Hopefully that gets Humble Photography questions answered. And it's tough, dude. I think most of the trends now happen usually on TikTok. So if
Be
you're
your
not on
own
TikTok,
trend though.
yeah,
Be your own trend. Like it's cool to look at what people are doing, but create your own trend. Create your own style.
Yeah, it's like what you said earlier, Ruben. Like practice makes perfect, and when you really out there practicing and being in the field, you figure who yourself is as an artist
Right.
and what you produce in your own style.
Right. And it's funny because I've got more quote unquote hate from people back in the day when I first started doing this, from people that thought that I wouldn't be able to make it on my own and doing this on my own, or just from like kind of me creating my own lane, and they couldn't understand why I was getting all these great opportunities to do things, and they were just kind of stuck where they're at. And I'm just like, it's not because you're stuck where you're at, it's because you're not willing to shoot 4 or 5 parties on a Saturday night and travel around the city and do what I was doing. It got to the point where literally I was working at like 3 different clubs, I'm saying, on a Saturday night. And then I go catch my friend because he's performing somewhere else down in the city somewhere,
Right,
and then,
right.
when I was still married, I would have to go, what I mean, and back to the county, saying, with my family or whatever. So yeah, man, like I was putting in work, creating my own lane. Like it was undeniable. And so that's what you gotta do. Like if you really want to do this photography thing, you just gotta push once again and be in the right place at the right time.
Sacrifices.
It's
Yo,
major sacrifice.
that part. Everybody take notes. That's
Yeah.
facts right there.
Major
And
sacrifice.
again, man, because I do like a lot of quotes, dude. That just to keep it simple, but like I don't know if this is a boxing quote or not, but it's like it always hits to me. It says, you could have talent, you could be the most talented guy, but like if you're not out putting work, that guy who's putting in work eventually is gonna beat the talented guy. Because if you're not putting in the work, bro, like it don't matter how much talent you got. Like you gotta hustle. You gotta get on the grind.
That's true. That's absolutely
Get on your
true.
horse.
That's absolutely true. You don't want to know what the pastor said at my grandmother's funeral. He said, you know, you're born on this date and you pass on this date. But what's most important is what you do in between that dash. That's how people remember you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, take the courage within yourself, you know, to do your best, you know, every day that you got to get up. Because everybody around you, they might come to hang out and, you know, say they blessings to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, they're going to remember you, though. You know, they're going to celebrate you for what you did in between your dash.
Yo, that goes deep.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Do we got any comments on the IG, Vic?
Actually, I was cruising through IG. I do see a lot of people tuning in, tuning out. But I don't know. The people on IG today were a little shy. Maybe it's the camera that we got today. Yeah, but it's okay. We'll fix it next week.
I'm so happy you did bring that up, so we can go ahead and change out these seats. StreamYard went ahead and switched it up on me real
A
quick.
little bit. Yeah, but everybody, don't forget, man. We're here with Dubscience Photography and Film. Ruben kicking it with us, and just put in that work, man. Put in that work,
Yeah.
and
And
Stay-
travel. Make sure you travel. Travel the world, man. You know, that's another thing to my photographers. If you get the opportunity to travel, man, travel as often as possible. Any artist, you should travel the world. It'll change your mind. It really will. It'll change your mind. Don't get me wrong. If you're from America, you will be, you know, going through a little culture shock wherever you go. But it's worth it. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
100%. And again, that comes into that work, man, because like you can't expect everything to come to your house. You know, sometimes you gotta step outside and keep traveling and keep on putting that effort on other places besides just your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like this fortune cookie told me the other week, man. It's like you change your thoughts as you change how you see the world.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, I will definitely say like one of the best travel experiences I've had was I got to go to Cuba.
Sick.
I
Oh.
did some travel work. Well, not travel work, but I was actually shooting one of the first EDM concerts that happened there. Yeah, that ever happened there, and I don't think it's happened there since. But yeah, that was a fun experience, man. And then I ended up going back a couple other times to work with some graduate students and document their stuff. So yeah, man, it was definitely a life changing experience. You know what I mean? Being not necessarily just in the Caribbean because it's it's not too far away from the U.S. You know what I mean? It's just a hop, skip, and a jump. But I mean, the culture though, the culture overall is not what we do here in the States. You know, and some places are rougher than others. But to be honest with you, like they got a group, I guess, of the people my age, you know what I'm saying, in Cuba, but they only listen to like 90s hip hop, 90s R&B, and they call them Monias. And so they throw like a huge club night, you know, every weekend. You know what I'm saying? That's the only music you're gonna hear. You're gonna hear Nas, you're gonna hear Jay-Z, but it's all gonna be 90s stuff, okay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like walking into that type of situation there, like I would have never expected that, you know, at least back then. I mean, I'm sure things have changed, but you know, back then, like 2017, 2016, when I was going heavy, it was a beautiful experience because it changed my life both spiritually and mentally. You know, I did a lot of soul searching, you know, during that time. So yes, travel actually, it'll heal you in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it always does, man. Get out of that comfort zone, everybody.
Yeah.
Do something special and something memorable. And I love how you said Nas, bro. I was just listening to Illmatic this week.
Yeah, man.
Love that album.
Yeah,
I was also listening to College Dropout, dude.
Okay.
All in the same day.
Okay.
God damn.
Okay. Yeah, I've been blessed with being able to like really like be in the midst of some of my idols, right? Like y'all ever heard of Boot Camp Click?
Mm-hmm.
So I did a show randomly in Baltimore, and they just happened to be there. And then at the end of the day, somebody that would work for the radio station that they were doing the concert for was like, "Yo, you've been here all night. Bring your camera." And then I ended up bringing me back to the green room, and I ended up shooting an interview for them.
What?
Yeah, so I shot the interview, Buckshot, and Boot Camp Click, and I put it all out on YouTube. It's still up there. You can check it out on YouTube right now. But then doing that gig for free because I wasn't getting paid that night. for the work or the video that I put out.
Be
Okay,
like that sometimes.
right. But that gig is what got me to being on a tour with Method Man. You know
Yo.
what I'm saying? So,
Right place, right time.
boom.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you don't gotta get paid for everything, man. Just get content, and the opportunities they'll present themselves.
Facts. Absolutely.
Damn, Ruben. Whoa, dude.
Yo, man,
I feel like
I got stories to tell about my photography career,
I was about to
bro.
say. I feel like we could go for like at least another hour.
Yeah, I won't hold y'all though. You know what I'm saying? But, 'cause I got stories, bro. I got stories, But they all like really dope experiences because like they once in a lifetime experiences.
Damn, bro. So all of this started because your mom and your step pops and
Yeah.
doing weddings, and now
Well, I look, even back then in the 80s, they were doing more studio work. And then my dad found that it was just more profitable to do events, you know what I'm saying? So the weddings, and then to also as a photographer, like it's easier for you sometimes if you have a niche and you just do that one thing. But me personally, I kind of get bored with doing the same thing over and over again. So I try to mix it up, I try to mix it up. But overall, the event photography, I ain't going front, is what pays.
no, I could relate, bro. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, we love the podcast. It's great, but like when we do events, that's when we get a little bit of the rent covered.
Right. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Like people sometimes when they throw events, they got bigger budgets, and that's the easy way to make a decent amount of money in a short period of time. So it definitely works out to its benefit sometimes.
I hear that, bro. I hear that. It's been a great interview. If you haven't done so yet, give a like, share, and subscribe to the Kika Podcast channel on YouTube. Type in Kika Labs and give a follow as well to the IG. We appreciate all the supporters and all the likes and all the shares. And go ahead and replay the other episodes that we have. Also check out the Smoke and Vic show going on every Thursdays. Going on, yeah.
Yeah, and also don't forget follow and check out Dubscience on YouTube, bro. Because like now I'm gonna go back and check out that interview, dude.
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny too because like one of the brothers, real quick, one of the brothers that helped me start my business ended up passing away shortly after I met him, like a couple years after I met him. But he was like actually the one that just got me notoriety in Baltimore. So he ended up passing away. But then there was a tribute that we had done to him like 11 years ago. And I noticed on my YouTube today that somebody actually shared that video last night of this tribute. And it was just beautiful to watch because I was like, damn, I shoot so much. Sometimes you forget the stuff that you shoot.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll post stuff on YouTube or, and I won't look at it for years on end. But then to see other people still sharing it from that far back, way back, and still giving, praise and good comments towards it. Yeah. Look, man, once again, it's what you've done in between your dash. Like that feels good.
100.
Yeah, you did what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a rewarding feeling that someone else saw it and recognized the beauty in your artwork and kept on sharing it.
It's
Keep
a
it
blessing.
going.
It's a blessing.
Yeah. All right, Ruben. Well, before we attempt to close this out, so what's next, man? Like, what else are you trying to do, especially now that you're out here and selling California?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I want to work with as many artists as possible. I do actually want to get back into doing more studio work as well. And when I say studio work, I mean just doing photos inside or whatever. But outside of that, I really want to gain some major corporate clientele. That's the focus right now, gaining corporate clientele that are throwing these yearly events, these galas. And don't get me wrong, I still do baby showers. That's not an issue for me either because I like family gatherings. That's always the best kind of photos to get too, and memories. People really appreciate those memories. But those are mainly my focus. Once again, the event photography, corporate clients, and then possibly getting back in the studio work. But once again, I'm still learning people or getting to know people out here, so I don't know a whole lot of models or anything like that, but I've got some references. I have worked with a couple other people that are makeup artists here that were willing to be some model clients for me. So yeah, that's the focus right now.
All right. Well, if you need more context, dude, Bruce is one with the Rolodex.
Okay,
he's planning on getting some models here for the podcast. So
Bruce got me here, so I'm gonna follow.
Hey, bro, just let me know. I'll be right there at the music box too and shit. So yeah,
that's what's up.
Well, just let me know anytime.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
And then if anybody asks me to, I could just check him out real quick.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Hey, the work speak for itself, man. I appreciate you.
Matter of fact, I got arm outside this door right now, real quick. No, I do. Yeah, we're about to wrap this up right
All
now.
right, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. With that being said, though, we appreciate everybody tuning in for tonight. You can go ahead and catch us around next week as well. Eighth season, last stretch is thinning out around here, but we're gonna keep it going.
It's pretty goddamn thin, but we ain't got ice out here. We got a little bit of rain, but it's good. But hey, Ruben, one more time, bro. Where can people reach you at and get in contact for your services?
It's Mr. Dubscience everywhere. MrDubscience. Everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, IG. Yeah, it's all on there. It's all on there. So yeah, you can. I'm the only one. I promise you.
Yeah. Any last remarks, bro, before we close this out?
I just really appreciate this opportunity to build with you, gentlemen. You know, and to get to meet your audience as well and tell my story. You know, once again, it's an absolute blessing of being in the right place at the right time, meeting Bruce, connecting with you, and just being here. And shout out to Michael Gabriel, Brian down at Bermuda. Everybody has given me an opportunity. Oside, like, thank y'all, man. I really appreciate y'all opening the door for me.
Oh, thanks, Ruben.
Hell yeah. Thank you again, Ruben, for kicking it with us.
Okay.
And then for everybody, catch us around next time. Thank you for sipping with us. Stay for talking up with us. Stay for kicking it.